Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome to today's video. I'm Sami Abasad, Director of Education at T3 Live. I haven't heard from you in a while. You haven't heard from me in a while. So I miss you. I took some time off from trading and I'm happy to be back and ready to go. We have earnings season upon us and this is usually the best time of the year, the best time in every quarter for day trading, swing trading, trading earnings, trading gaps. So I'm happy to be back and I'm ready to go. I hope you are too. Let's go ahead and get started as always by first taking a look at the disclaimer page, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. So make sure you agree to that before proceeding with today's video. Also, if you're interested, I have an amazing free ebook. You can download it by clicking on the link in the description. Again, an amazing free ebook with 9 different sections. Link is in the description for that. But with that said, let's go ahead and turn on the charts and get started, shall we? Let's do it. We'll talk about the market and then we're going to talk about the swing ideas for next week. If you'd like to just copy and paste the list without having to type it up, I dropped the list, the bullish and the bearish list, in the description of the video. Okay, so it's in the description. But first we'll go over the market by looking at the Qs, which represents the NASDAQ, and then we'll take a look at the SPY, which represents obviously the S&P 500. The NASDAQ, the market had a huge run up, of course, since from March through September, or the end of August. No, the beginning of September. September 2nd was when we topped out. We went climactic. So that was a climactic move up, and then we collapsed from there. Now, recently, the last couple of weeks, the market attempted to retest but failed to reach or take out the prior high. And we kind of double topped, or you can say we put in a lower high right here. So that's bearish, okay? That tells us the market is not ready yet to attack the prior highs, this top right here, okay? But the sell-off from that top, from that lower high, hasn't been all that bearish either. So the attempt to go higher wasn't that bullish. The sell-off hasn't been all that bearish. I think we're probably in for a sideways market for the coming few weeks, maybe until after the US elections. But we do have a good reference point to work with or to keep in mind. If we take out this pivot, which is 297.50 on the Qs, on the SPY it's 354.02, then the bias should be back to all out bullish. In the meantime, we actually have some room until we get, if we're going to pull back, until we get to the 20 MA. We have a good amount of room, but the market isn't all that bearish. As I said, the sell-off hasn't been all that bearish, and the Qs has room to about 280. So that's what I'm expecting, a sideways to slightly bearish market unless we take out the prior pivot high, okay? And I'm going to be neutral to slightly bearish up until maybe elections. Of course, things change from time to time. They actually change quickly, sometimes overnight. If you're a subscriber to my newsletter, I send it out every day, so I'll be sure to update you on a day-to-day basis, okay? But for now, let's go ahead and go over the swing ideas for next week. I gotta say, I wasn't very impressed with the setups out there. I scanned my entire stock universe and there weren't a whole lot of good setups. So if you're a subscriber to the Strategic Swing Trader newsletter, I updated the newsletter for tomorrow. You can access it already by going to your T3 Live account, or you can wait for the email to go out, for the newsletter to go out tomorrow at 8 a.m. or so. Okay, first, the cone has a daily buy setup. So it had an amazing nice move up and now has a pullback to the rising 20 on the daily chart. So this is okay to play long over 77.53 with a stop under 75.45. Just like with all buy setups, the prior high is your target. So that would be the target, okay? On the cone, the next on the list is CROX. CROX and LB are very similar. It's a 1-2-3 pattern. You get the igniting bar, the narrow range bar, and if we take out Friday's high, then that would trigger an entry over the red bar's high, 1 or 2 cents, stop below it, 1 or 2 cents. And then I usually manage bar by bar on the daily chart. After 2 bars in my favor, I go bar by bar. That's CROX. LB looks even better because it also has a base. So the entry for the LB would be at 34.01. So this looks nice. 34.01, stop under 33.28. Okay? So LB and CROX are the same. This list is sorted alphabetically. So cone is a buy setup. CROX and LB are 1, 2, 3 patterns. FSKR is a daily buy setup also. Not as deep as the cone. So entry for this would be over 1543. Over 1543. Stop under the pivot, target the prior high. FUTU is a weekly buy setup. I don't think it's quite ready on the daily chart, but I do like that weekly buy setup. So if this triggers, it'll be kind of a long-term trade. Entry would be over the red bars high. But it's not one of the ones that I am going to be interested in for Monday. It's just more of a watch for next week on the FUTU. SPTN is also a pullback on the daily chart. It's more of an hourly breakout over the base, stop under the base, and then target the prior high around 23 bucks or so. Okay, so that's the SPTN, which is a little thin. TRXC is a penny stock. This is called the transition A on the daily chart when the stock is in a long-term downtrend basis, and then the 20 MA starts to curl up a little bit like this. So the entry for this would be over the base, stop under it. Penny stock, we've seen a lot of penny stocks really explode recently. So over the base, stop under it. Next is WB, which is similar to cone. It's the same pattern. It's a pullback to the rising 20 and the 200 MA. Entry would be over the red bars high, which is 38.81. Stop under 37.45. Target around 42 bucks, just short of $42. Last but not least is the XTNT, which is more of an hourly base breakout. It's a slanted base. It already triggered on Friday, but I wasn't around, and it's a thinly traded stock, low volume, over 161. Target is around 250 or so, maybe around. I would say the target should be around 225. Okay, on the XTNT. Let's switch gears and look at the bearish list. The bearish list, we got a couple of items that are similar. They had a bearish mega gap down, and the ATXI, and is now basing. So under the base, short, stop above it. Okay, the CYCN, similar, big gap down but very bearish. Entry under the base, stop above. And then these last few here, actually between, well, let's add the ZM over here because they're all, these few here are all climactic. ENPH and SEDG are solar. PTON is Peloton, and EXPI, I don't even know what it does, but they're all climactic sell setups. They're not the best, but that's what I was able to find this weekend. So they're more, as I have them on the list as more as watches to see how they set up on Monday, but I'm not ready to play them out of the gate on Monday, tomorrow. ENPH, the entry for this would be under 108.75, stop 114.30. This is a climactic weekly and a climactic monthly. I mean, this is a rocket ship. Look at this. Look at this amazing move up. Same with the SEDG. Huge move up. Is it ready to start coming in? I think so. The only issue is they based. So hold on just a second. I'm using this laptop keyboard, which is a little different than a full-sized desktop keyboard. And okay, let's take a look. So SEDG, again, unfortunately, it based. I don't like them to base at the top. That signals usually a continuation, not a reversal. But at the same time, just like ENPH, if it takes out Friday's low, which is $300 in this case, that would trigger a climactic entry short with a stop over 315.50, 315.43. ENPH and SEDG. EXPI is even better. It's the same exact pattern on the weekly and the monthly. Climactic sell setup. Okay, not sustainable usually. The only issue with it is the size, is the big red bar. So the bigger the red bar, the more likely that this is a real reversal, but unfortunately, the bigger the stop. So that's the issue with it. Entry under the red bar, stop above it. Target $50 and target 2 would be the support around $40. So this has two targets. Peloton looks amazing on the weekly. Peloton, hold on just a second. So it is, here's the weekly for it. So .w on this platform takes me to the weekly time frame, or I can just do it right here by right clicking and then selecting weekly. I just like the shortcut, but on this keyboard I keep making mistakes. So at any rate, Peloton, that's a climactic move up for sure. So I like it short. Is it ready for Monday? I'm not quite sure, but the entry for it, if you would like, would be under 126.50, stop over 139.75. It's a big stop, but if it breaks under the 126.55, which is the green bar's low, I believe that this will set in the top for a while, if not forever, because usually climactic moves like these are not sustainable and they lead to a collapse in the stock usually. Now, Zoom Communications, I didn't really initially have it on the list, but it's also a bit, very climactic actually on the weekly and the monthly. Here's the monthly time frame. That's just amazing. Again, a rocket ship. Here's the daily, not as amazing because it's based. We like one continuous move up without any basing or pulling back. So it's base, but the entry for this, so I'm not going to be looking to do it on Monday, but I'm going to be watching it. And I really hope that it keeps going up. The more extended it gets, the more climactic, the bigger the sell-off, usually. So, but if you'd like to try it already as is, the entry would be under 543.25, stop over 565.45. About a $20 stop. Huge stop, but this stock moves a huge amount too. So we talked about all of these, how they're all basically the same pattern, climactic sell setup. SUPN is completely different. This is a monthly sell setup, so check it out. The sell setup triggered on this bar, but we're not too far below it, so it's not too late. This has been in a downtrend since 2018 and rallied this year, just like everything else did, and now we have a sell setup / breakdown under 1997. Stop on this would come off the daily. So the entry is under Thursday's low, which is 1988, and the stop should be over 2187. Let's zoom out and look for targets. Target 1 would be around $16 right here, $17 that is. And then target 2 would be around $14. So this is a long-term play, the SUPN, okay? So, and with that said, that kind of wraps up the today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button. That triggers the YouTube algorithm, so the video gets distributed more. Again, if you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button and check out the links in the description. We are entering the best 30-day to 3 weeks to 4 week window where trading should be amazing. Day trading should be amazing. Swing trading should be great. Trading earnings is gonna be really, really good, I hope. So if you're interested in joining me for the next 30 days, you can check out my services for just $49. Link is in the description for that. If you have any questions, info@t3live.com. Send an email to info@t3live.com. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Take care, everybody. Ciao.